Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Global Speedrun Association. We are finishing off the night here with a doubleheader for Super Mario Odyssey's Any Percent League. The first match coming at you hot between LilAggy and Equan. Joining me on the microphone for this match is Flare Fuser. Flare, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Going pretty good. That's what I like to hear. Anything exciting happen in your day?
I choked a World Peace Run to Bowser's.
Ah, fantastic. You hate
Yeah.
to see it. You hate to see it. Personally, I've just been looking forward to these races all day. It's my first day off in a while, so having a nice relaxing afternoon, and then I get to come and watch live these Super Mario Odyssey races and participate in one later. So very excited for that. Now we have a very interesting matchup, in my opinion. We have LilAggy versus Equan. LilAggy has kind of, in my opinion, surprised me anyways when it comes to this league. Very fascinating results coming from him, taking a couple of very surprise victories against competitors such as Fur underscore and Rails Diortem. But on the flip side, Equan is doing essentially the opposite. Equan has been doing essentially the opposite in the sense that he is expected to perform extremely well, but he has been kind of going for some harder and more difficult strats, potentially not very race safe strats that have indeed cost him several races of his own, including a potential upset to the current undefeated runner Nicrovita. But that being said, this
Yeah.
is a new day and a new race, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah. Econ has definitely been finishing with like not the greatest time for him, like 106s, 107s, but hopefully he'll be able to bring back his consistency and we'll see a close race.
Yeah, I think consistency is the number one key here. If LilAggy is able to play at his kind of peak potential level and Equan maybe doesn't, then we could see a victory in LilAggy's favor. But it is too early to say. These guys are on the starting line, ready to go, about to start their timer, and off to the races. Now, do you have any predictions, Flair?
I don't know. I think it'll be a pretty close race. Maybe Aggie will take the win because Econ's been having some rough races, but looks like he's been practicing a little bit, so maybe he'll be able to bring back his like consistency and finish with a pretty solid time.
We can only hope, truly.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, Equan, I think, does have just a better line on how he approaches this game. He does go for all the harder strats. You can really see in his gameplay that he does try and make sure that he is doing the absolute fastest things. So, barring any mistakes, Equan is the favorite here. However, like we said, if Equan is going to be bonking and falling and making all of these kinds of silly mistakes along the way, then we will probably see a victory in LilAggy's favor. But it is too early to say. Cap Kingdom coming at you hot. These guys initiating that first person and getting the bridge up as fast as possible. Looks to be dead even still.
Yeah, for like the most part of the cap, boundaries tend to be like pretty much tied until like left side. If somebody has an unfortunate left side bonk, like Cascade and Sands, where like the run starts to just change up a little bit and people will get leads.
Yep, sometimes you see a left side mistake. Sometimes, especially in this early portion of the game, you can see already Equan taking just a little bit of a stumble on his way through the frog room there. This is honestly, as a racer, this is where my nerves are the absolute highest. You hit the start button, you get your kind of adrenaline pumping, everything's ready to go, and it can be very hard to keep that under wraps at the very beginning portion of the run. So this Cap Kingdom can sometimes be prone to a little bit of spaghetti. You see LilAggy taking some damage there as a result of that.
Yeah, Econ gonna be a little bit ahead of Aggie. But Aggie has been having some trouble with chest clip, so let's hope he's gonna be able to get that.
We shall wait and see. But yeah, you are right. Cascade going to be the first kingdom that kind of sets these runners apart, I think. As far as First Moon Skip is concerned, it is a trick still, but perhaps not the most intensive trick in the whole run. Doesn't mean that we haven't seen it fail in previous attempts at these league races. So speaking of, we'll probably see Ekwon going for the wall jumpless variation if he is indeed the kind of harder runner that we expect him to be. And he does get it very nicely there. LilAggy opting for the safer strategy here, just getting the wall jump and into a spin pound. So Ekwon saving about 0.5 seconds there. Did take the lead out of Cap Kingdom as a result of the topper fight.
Yeah, we don't see too many problem with FMS anymore after we found what FMS. Rock FMS, on the other hand, was like, it felt really random, and like the game kind of just like messed you up, and you feel like you didn't do anything wrong, but at the same time you just miss it and you're just so confused.
Yeah, luckily not going to be taking any falls this time. Both of them pulling off their FMS just well enough. And into this Madame Brutal fight. And it does appear that Ekwon is actually going to be taking the lead here out of the gate. About 5 seconds.
Yeah, definitely nothing too big. The only major threat that we have for the rest of the cascade is chest clip. So we're gonna be getting the moon up on the little, what's it called, the little ledge, and then we're gonna be going chest clip where Equan could lose his lead or Aggie could lose more time. But best case scenario is that runners will get the clip, both runners will get the clip, and let's hope that happens. Equan approaching the clip. That looks good. Should be able to successfully pull it off. Yep. See if Aggie gets it. I'm not sure actually. No, Aggie not getting it. I was watching his stream the other day and I saw that he was having some trouble with it, so yeah, hopefully he'll be able to fix that in the future.
Yep, you hate to see it. LilAggy definitely going to be taking a bit of a time penalty there. But Ekwon here, on the other hand, very solid start. He did have a little bit of sloppiness in the Frog Room in Cap Kingdom, but otherwise still leaving at a 508, which is, you know, exactly what you expect from Ekwon. His early game is fantastic.
There's actually a strat in this mashing part of the game called Fast Action Guide Skip. It's not the hardest thing to do, it's mainly RNG. But it's like you press B and then you like, what's the term for it? I'm kind of blanking.
Well, you're mashing, essentially?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just mashing.
Yeah, and the idea there is that for some reason we still don't really understand. I think that there is a way to make it consistent that basically it revolves around hitting the B button at the exact time that you need to, but the best way to try and accomplish that at least is through mashing. But sometimes it'll just it'll skip. You'll see that the screen will go black for just a split second and then immediately the text will come back, but most of the time the text will kind of lag for a moment and take a while to come back, and that will lose you about 0.8 of a second. So it's kind of just like a luck of the draw, and sometimes you get a free half a second here or there.
Yeah, you're gonna take a bonk in the cactus. That's definitely gonna be a little bit unfortunate for him, but still nothing too big. I do think that Equan does do leg crate, which is a new strat. It's pretty risky and it's really hard because you gotta have a really tight bird cycle if you do that strat. So let's see if he goes for it in this race. I know he did it in his last race, and he did manage to pull it off.
Well, he did go for the shifting sands, or sorry, the rumble underneath the sands moon, which would indicate that he's not going for that route.
Oh.
So he should be okay. He probably will see him do the traditional route with the Sphinx clip. But you know, he might surprise me.
Yeah.
He also missed Dram here, but LilAggy is going to be getting it, so that just from that is immediately putting LilAggy in the lead.
Yeah, you could having some trouble over here.
Getting bodied. He's going to be going for the crate here right now, just as a kind of safety precaution.
I do think we're gonna be seeing Sphinx clip from Aggie. Let's hope that goes well for him.
Yep, definitely Sphinx clip. Potentially a double clip here. So he's going to be setting up first. A little bit of technical difficulties on the stream, but he is in the Sphinx room, so it looks like he got it on the first try.
Let's hope he doesn't go back into the Sphinx room and successfully does double clip.
Oh, very nice. Almost fell down. There's a bit of a gap in between where the shifting sands and the Sphinx are that can kind of force you all the way down into the death barrier below. But Aggie's going to be able to avoid that, and he is on his way through sand, flying through the stage. Very, very solid sand from Aggie so far. Ekwon, meanwhile, did miss Dram, ended up having to get bodied by another bullet bill. He's going to be lagging behind here, but did get first try clip, and then also clip back into the Sphinx room. Didn't get a successful double clip here. Okay, and there he goes. Third time is the charm.
Yeah, looks like Aggie's gonna be taking the lead out of sand unless he does something, but I don't really think anything could go that badly at this point.
Yep, he is going to be beating the bird by a mile. That bird looks to be in about Argentina, so he will have plenty of time to grab the bird before he's going on his way to the Notes Moon. Ekwon, however, is trailing behind, trying to keep up here, but something else to note is that he is a moon ahead. So all he's going to have to do is grab the bird, grab the ground pound moon next to the bird, and he can warp directly to the Odyssey. No need for the Notes Moon here. So even though it does look like LilAggy does have a very commanding lead, he will be losing a little bit of that lead to Ekwon's performance just earlier on in the kingdom and choosing to grab a different moon.
Wait. Not sure what Equan's doing. Getting an extra moon.
Oh no, it's potential that he forgot that he had grabbed the crate in the first
that's
place.
probably what happened.
And you know what? That's okay. Finishing the game with 125 moons, you know, maybe that extra moon will come in handy somewhere, somehow. I can tell or I can speak from a running perspective that when the stakes are high and your goal is to essentially just try and outmatch your opponent and go as fast as you can, it can be very, very easy for your mind to slip on what it is that you need to be looking out for. So probably just what happened with Ekwon here, and he's going to be taking quite a disadvantage as we come into Lake Kingdom. LilAggy probably about 30 to 40 seconds ahead.
Yeah, I do think Aggie's gonna do late clip. He has been experimenting with it a little bit, and he has added it into his run. So let's see if he'll be seeing it here. I don't know if he'll do it in a race because it's something risky, and I don't know if he's that consistent or confident with it. But we'll see what happens.
Did see a little bit of camera manipulation there from LilAggy, turning his camera up as he goes up to the Goomba platform. So it does look like he'll probably skip out on it. Yes.
Yeah. Probably a good choice. Late clip can definitely be one of the really hard trick.
So this might provide Ekwon an opportunity to come back a little bit. If he's able to set up his late clip very quickly and execute on it perfectly, he will be making in the ballpark of about 7 seconds. So here he goes, setting up against the wall. Very quick setup from Ekwon here. That's exactly what you like to see. Making sure that he gets the cat bounce. Oh, but he doesn't get the wall jump. So he's actually going to be bathtubing here, and he is going to have to capture the fish and take the regular route through Lake Kingdom, which you hate to see. LilAggy is actually going to be taking even more of a time advantage over Ekwon here by just playing it safe right out of the gate.
Look, I thought he was gonna get it, and then just like the wall jump messed him up. He just goofed.
Yeah, it's a real shame on Ekwon's part. And, you know, even though it doesn't look like he's going for all of the riskiest strats so far, I suppose you could call late clip a bit of a risky situation, but it just appears that Ekwon is just a little bit off of his game, showing a little bit of flake as far as it comes with his performance here. That just started in the beginning of Sand with missing the Sand Ram, and now carrying on into Lake. LilAggy, however, is performing very, very well. Going to be capping out this Lake Kingdom with what looks to be a 13:15, which is very, very phenomenal race performance time.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty well. Let's hope he keeps it that way. Only way Econ can come off at this point, I think, is if he messes up something. And that could definitely happen considering how much time left we have in this run.
Yep, the run is still young. We're within the first quarter of the run still, so anything can happen, and we are entering probably one of the scariest kingdoms in the entire run, that being Wooded Kingdom.
Yeah, Nutclip is definitely very frightening. Aggie having no problems with Bunny Rock. Gonna be doing shop and then Nutclip. Let's hope he nails that. If he does end up messing up Nutclip, though, Econ could definitely save a lot of time over Aggie.
Yeah, you just don't know what can happen here. LilAggy going to be the first to approach this nut clip. And, yeah, you know, I think at this point, at this stage, Ekwon probably deserves to be a little bit scared. LilAggy has kind of surprised everybody as far as this league is concerned. Being able to kind of play consistently through the beginning portion of the game and then hold on to what he's got. So with that being said, as long as he continues this momentum and doesn't make any major mistakes going through to the kind of end portion of this run, he could run away with this.
Yeah, having no problems with Nutclip right now. Let's hope he nails everything else. Oh.
Oh no. Oh no, he clipped back into the box. That is going to hurt. So he did get the moon. He did get the moon in the rock wall, but he is going to have to reset. Basically, a pseudo soft lock happening there. So you kind of have to do a very sketchy wall jump of sorts to get yourself back up and out of the out of bounds area. But the box where the moon is a very tight little box, and if you do not time your wall jump properly, or you do not manage to dive away from the moon in a proper way, you can wind up inside of that box and kind of ruin your own day. So LilAggy opting for this backup here, going for the tree moon, which is a very interesting approach. So this is going to be his replacement for the nut on the tall fence. And it looks like these guys are even, but you do have to kind of consider that LilAggy did have to warp all the way back. He's going to be going up to the top of this cliff here now. Ekwon going to be making his way out of bounds and up the ramp. So even though it does look like LilAggy took a very substantial time penalty here, he is going to be clinging on to a lead. But that is a very costly time mistake there. Oh my goodness, what is he doing now?
What?
I actually have no idea what he's doing now. What is this sorcery? What is this? Are we witnessing new routes live on GSA? He's going around the corner, grabbing the nut. I don't even, like, I can't really comprehend what it is that he's trying to do.
I'm so confused.
I am actually just kind of flabbergasted. You know, in my mind, all you would need to do is grab the tree moon and then continue on as normal. But here we see LilAggy going around the nut around the bend, and now he's coming back and doing everything regular. I'm actually extremely confused.
I thought he'd do, like, if he's gonna do that, I thought he'd do the fuzzy sub area also, like the pipes, because I thought he was doing like spirit first, except not spirit for. I mean, not spirit first. Sorry, spiritless. But then he just didn't get pipes. I'm kind of curious to see what he's gonna do. Econ approaching FRS looks good. Yeah, having no problems with that.
And he is opting for the tree route, the traditional tree route here. So that means he does not need to get this story moon that LilAggy is grabbing. But you're gonna see, we're gonna have a peek at LilAggy's moon count here. because he should be on par with what he needed to just kind of do Wooded the traditional way. So there's going to be 1 moon in the crumbling tower that he's approaching now, 2 in the tower, and then the flooded pipeway. So I'm just a little bit baffled as to what his mindset was going to get the nut around the bed, like the dead end first. He did not need to do that. After he comes out of the tower, he would have done the regular movement. So this is a little bit strange, to be honest. This is not what I expected to see.
Yeah.
So Ekwon performing that movement that I was talking about before, coming off the top of the tower and then getting this nut around the bend. And then he's going to be coming back and doing the pipeway himself. So finally, at this point of Wooded, which has been an absolute roller coaster, you could say, we are finally seeing who is ahead and who has the advantage here. Synced cutscenes there. It was kind of interesting, but so LilAggy is actually going to be the one to be falling behind as a result of this. You know, we gave him some pretty mad props and said as long as he keeps it together that he will probably be able to hold on to a lead well into the late game, but unfortunately some out of bounds trickery has caused him to lose his lead just like that. Oh no, and messing up with the pipeway. You know, Ekwon having a little bit of troubles of his own, not necessarily getting the perfect pipeway that he would have liked to see, but LilAggy is going to be kind of suffering the same thing as well. Might be able to make this kind of discount cycle, not quite, so he's going to have to wait for the water to rise.
I still can't get over that like route. I'm so confused.
It was a little bit bizarre. I was not expecting to see Aggie go for that nut around the bend. Okay, so we are seeing from our perspective here in the Discord channel, we are seeing that LilAggy completely forgot that he had grabbed the Rock Moon in the first place, and so he was routing in a way that would have given him an extra moon, I suppose, and maybe that just kind of biting him in the butt here a little bit.
Yeah, gonna be entering the cloud. Actually, not cloud. My bad. Actually, yeah, cloud. Yeah, we're gonna be entering the Cloud Kingdom. Nothing too special here. So you do a couple of roll boosts and get very close to Bowser, and then throw your cab to get that's an instant, like get to fight him instantly instead of doing the normal thing you do casually. Well, there's another strat that's not the casual strat, but it is a little bit slower than this. Oh, Ekwon having some trouble with the fast Bowser, so definitely some place for Aggie to take another lead, or just save some more time.
Ekwon very close to missing that second phase even after grabbing the hat, but these guys are essentially neck and neck in this race now. We are looking at the same Bowser cycle from both of these guys. Ekwon looks to be a couple of seconds ahead, grabbing this final hat. They're both punching Bowser for the final time. We are probably only about 2 seconds apart here. Ekwon being the one with the lead coming out of Cloud Kingdom.
Lost being one of the scary kingdoms in the round could determine something like Aggie taking a lead or Ekwon having a bigger lead than he already has right now. We'll be approaching Meme Tree, one of the not too hard strats, but it can be really scary.
Yep, this one is something that's kind of been devised since day one, so it's hard to imagine that people can still kind of make the mistake of not getting enough distance here. LilAggy actually did just about do just that. You know, as commentators, we have to be kind of careful what we say because we can kind of ruin the entire integrity of this race just by using our words, but luckily not going to be the case this time. Ekwon holding onto that lead. LilAggy just showing that he's trying to keep it consistent, keep it together. After that Wooded performance, I think it would be very hard for any runner to maintain their composure. So LilAggy doing his best to do just that. But Ekwon is having a wonderful Lost Kingdom here. Going for every kind of conceivable fast strat that you can imagine. Going to be going for that spin pound roll cancel into the moon. Now, that's actually one that I don't really do myself just because I find it's a little bit tricky to grab the moon while going so fast, but these guys making it look easy.
Econ pulling out some BTT strats.
Wow. Oh,
Wow.
oh my goodness. I haven't even seen that happen in live time, but here it is. Equan pulling off the VTT strat there. It has a name, but it's on the tip of my tongue, and very fancy, flashy stuff, which essentially you kind of do the box and grabbing the moon in a reverse order, and you have to kind of wall jump in a way that gets the trapedal to the spot that he needs to be. Very flashy stuff from Equan, so showing that even though he is going for some safer strats, still opting to kind of show off in the way that Equan knows how.
Yeah, Equan likes to go for like a lot of like harder strats that look cool, like you said earlier. I do believe that strat was found by Gorilla, but I'm not 100% sure of that.
If not found by him, he was definitely the first to implement into runs.
Yeah. Equan gonna be entering Night Metro, nothing too hard. City Hall, however, can you maybe see a death there because that's one of the hardest parts. Don't think Equan's gonna be going for the Gorilla City Hall because that's extremely hard and the cycles are really tight. But we could see it knowing Equan, he does go for some of the harder strats in the run. You could also see a 3-cycle Wiggler, but I don't think it's too likely. Let's hope both runners have a good Metro.
Just as you say that, Equan getting a little bit of tricky situation with his triple jump there. And just like that, oh my god, I think we have a synced moon grab here. Maybe Aggie having just a tiny bit of advantage, but they're both roll boosting off and getting the Goomba jump at the same time. Equan actually didn't get the perfect line for his Goomba jump, so he did have to go for a backup there. A nice, perfect comparison of how much time the Goomba jump can save. But Equan actually the first one into City Hall, and he's going to be going for this elevator skip strategy.
Yeah, like I was saying, I didn't think he'd be going for Gory Hall, but looks like he is going to, and gonna be pulling some more time over Aggie. Did not expect to see that strat, because that's definitely one of the harder ones.
Yeah, it basically comes down to your comfortability level with doing roll cancel jumps and stuff like that. So Equan obviously kind of flexing his ability to do that. Getting caught on the wall, though, and taking a bonk on the stairway up to the Mecha Wiggler, which is going to give LilAggy the lead coming into this fight. But just about anything can make this fight go kind of awry. You can see that Aggie having a little bit of difficulty capturing the tank in the first place, giving Equan back the lead as we go into the second phase of this fight. And the second phase is where things can definitely change. Depending on what pattern you get, you don't really see very many runners get the 3-cycle anymore, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. And even then, one of the runners might get a better cycle than the other, and that could be all it takes to kind of reclaim the lead going into the Day Metro portion. And you can see here exactly what I'm talking about. Equan getting a much better and much more solid pattern than Aggie is here. Aggie had a little bit of crossover towards the end. That would have honestly scared me going and seeing that last bubble being covered by part of the Mecha Wiggler. But the luck is shining in his favor this time, so he is going to be okay. But Equan is going to be taking the lead coming out of Night Metro as a result.
We're gonna be going to Day Metro. Noticeable strats are probably just skew clip, really. Metro is one of the harder splits, and some stuff could happen. As you can see, as we saw in this Night Metro, Equan did go for some really flashy strats. Let's see if he does this in Day Metro as well.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that can really be said about Day Metro anymore. I feel like it's one of the kingdoms that hasn't really changed in quite a while. The last revision that we kind of had was doing the musicians first versus leaving them to the end. coming out of the girder and saving about 2 seconds by doing that. That was the last revision we've had to Metro. Of course, there is the impending doom that is what we call no-tep, aka doing the bullet building sub-area. And that would imply doing that sub-area and getting the fast moons within, but as far as doing it fast enough that it saves time, it's very tricky to do.
Yeah, if you want to do it fast enough, it's like insanely hard, like you said. Don't think we'll be seeing that for like a very long time in any runs. You want to do some flashy spin throws going into here, and yeah, we will be seeing musicians first. As you said, it's pretty old. It was pretty old, but just a thing to look out for. Econ having a pretty solid day Metro so far, as well as Aggie. Aggie just a little bit behind, getting the drum in, a couple seconds behind Equan.
Not a big deal, though. Still keeping pace rather nicely. Equan going to be the first off to the bassist, doing that spin throw roll cancel, showing his flashiness, showing his stuff. Aggie right behind. Now, the idea behind this no-tep route would be to insert bullet building and remove the musician entirely. So, doing bullet building and then warping directly up. Actually, no, I think you would just eliminate the bassist, if I'm not mistaken. So, you would come out of bullet building and then go directly to the drummer, warp up to where City Hall, where we are here with Equan, and then continue the route from there. Ooh, just a little... Oh, my goodness. Okay. Good save on Equan's part here to get back up on top of the building to get that jump that he's looking for. Gonna be losing a couple of seconds. LilAggy hot on his tail.
Yeah, about bullet building, they do a dram strat to like a BTT. They get the Wiggler Moon, but then they just homing to the pylon and go into the sub area.
Yeah, a bit of shakiness on Aggie's part climbing up City Hall. Equan not quite getting the bullseye that he was looking for here.
We can go into the last sub area of Metro, finishing it up.
Oh no, Equan taking a fall here. Gotta readjust, use these bouncy balconies, these bouncy banisters, and the camera just not playing Equan's ability at all. There's okay, and now he's going to be going for a very flashy strat here, trying to get his way back up the building, and wow, what a backup by Equan here, but unfortunately wasting a significant portion of time, and LilAggy taking the lead, actually coming out of Metro Kingdom.
This race is honestly insane. Like, you think somebody has a pretty good lead, and then 5 seconds later, is bam, it's gone.
That's just the nature of these races. That's just how they go. LilAggy exiting with a 31-32. Equan looks like he'll be leaving at 39. So the difference between them is only 7 seconds. Anything can still happen, and we are halfway through this race now.
We also got Snowden coming up, and if you saw Aggie's practice at the beginning before the run started, he was having a little bit of trouble with that, so let's hope he's able to get that strat. Aggie's starting up Snow, Egon right behind him. Do have some of this shaky outside movement because the floor is really bumpy, so a lot of runners don't really like this part because of the floor being so bumpy and awkward to roll on.
It's just very awkward.
Yeah.
So you kind of just have to make do with what you're given. It's hard to optimize this particular chunk just because of that. Mario ends up rolling all over the place. Makes it very frustrating to deal with, but LilAggy, the first into Shiveria now, where things can get a little bit more consistent. We're going to see him go for this first moon, the entrance of Shiveria, and then up into the banisters to gather a couple quick moons. Not sure if Aggie is implementing the moon clip in his runs yet at any point, but we're about to find out.
Oh, Aggie almost took a bonk there, but just barely getting onto that stair. Not stairs, bridge, my bad. I don't think Aggie does snow clip. Yeah, I think Econ will be going for it, but I'm not absolutely positive. Yeah, that doesn't look too good. Don't think he'll be. Oh, he is clipping in. I mean, clipping out, and does successfully get the clip. Gonna be saving a little bit of time over Aggie from that.
Yeah, we're looking at about a second to a second and a half, depending on how quick you're able to execute all of that.
Oh
But Ekwon,
no!
oh no, Ekwon taking a fall here, not getting the triple jump off the stairwell that he wanted, and this is actually going to mess up the cycle a little bit. You have to be very careful what you do coming back into this room, because it does kind of throw the cycle a little bit earlier than you are expecting the first time through. But he does make it okay. LilAggy grabbing the story moon, so extending his lead a little bit further. But of course, the impending doom waiting at the end of this kingdom, of course, being the snowdram trick. So all it would really take for LilAggy to lose his lead would be to take a fall trying to attempt this trick.
Yeah, there's an unlikely event where he could kill a Goomba, but I don't think we'll be seeing that, but anything could happen.
Now, always important to look at coin counts at this particular point in the run. It does look like both of these guys are over 100, which is what you need to purchase the moon. So there'll be no problems there.
We've seen some people in this league forgetting what their coin counts and then ending up having to do some time to go out of their way to get some extra coins to get the shop, or just going for the Rango room.
Yeah, in some cases, the Rango room is all you can really do. There's not so much in the ways of getting somewhere in the ballpark of like 20 plus coins in Snow Kingdom. You just kind of have to take the hit and go for the slower moon. But Aggie's going to be just fine. Ekwon also going to be just fine with coins. So they're going to be entering this shop after the story moon here. And after this, warping back to the Odyssey to get one final moon, that being the snow painting jump, aka Snowdram. And each fail of this trick costs about 20 seconds, so it is definitely important that LilAggy nails this trick on the first try to maintain his lead.
Aggie setting up for the trick, looks good. First setup, yeah, that should be working. Oh no, he missed the rainbow spin. Aggie gonna be taking a fall. Yeah, an opportunity for Equan to save some time.
Just like that, this is exactly what we're talking about. You can see LilAggy is warping to the Odyssey at the exact same time as Ekwon here, going to be going for the setup. Ekwon with the faster setup, but Aggie not getting the proper vault that he needs, and Ekwon is going to be flying over that Snowdram jump, and he is taking the lead just like that.
Aggie had definitely struggled a little bit with this trick.
Oh no, bonking again!
No, Aggie.
Oh no, going to have to reset his position for the Snowdram again. Ekwon running away with this now. Did get the Snowdram on the first try, instant setup. Everything is looking to Ekwon's favor now. LilAggy probably going to be scrambling a little bit. Diz does finally get the trick after the third try, so he can finally take a breath, take it easy, and make his way over to Seaside Kingdom. But man, you do hate to see that.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing the new Seaside reroute. Well, it's not really too new now, but the Sphinx Dip, Seaside Clip, Fish Clip, whatever you want to call it, where we skip the Notes Moon and go for the Sphinx. We clip in and do the Sphinx room. Yukon doing some flashy strats to climb up here.
Yeah, this moon is equal parts my favorite and least favorite moon to get in this entire run. You do get to kind of show off some flashy strats to climb up the side of the cliff, but failing them is sometimes out of your control, I find, and can definitely ruin your day and ruin the entire pace of Seaside, because all it takes to throw off a good paced Seaside is this initial jump. So right out of the gate, you're already kind of setting yourself up for a bad Seaside. LilAggy taking a little bit of a different approach to triple jump into a cap bounce off the side of the wall. But we're going to see Ekwon the first is in the water.
Yeah, nothing too special here. Just gonna be getting some quick moons in the water. Oh, Aggie taking a bonk, missing the moon. Aggie not having too good of an MSSL. Well, his Metro is pretty good, but did suffer a little bit on a snow ram, and now is suffering a little bit with Seaside as well.
Thought he was going to bonk into the binoculars there, but lucky to squeak by. But yeah, as you can see, Ekwon is literally swimming through the stage right now as we speak. Got a couple of quick moons to get before he attempts this, what we call Sphinx dip, I suppose, or the fish clip in Seaside. So just this last moon to get, and then he's on his way to try the clip. Now, this, in my opinion, is one of the easiest clips in the whole game, but was discovered recently by Tuval, I believe.
I think it was Circle,
Circle.
but I might be
I'm
wrong.
pretty sure they both work for Nintendo and know all the ins and outs of the game. And they just like to tease us speedrunners by releasing what they know.
Oh, for a second
Ekwon,
I thought that Ekwon clipped back in, but it looks like he did not.
he was far enough away. Everything is fine in Ekwon's world. Except for that map warp. I'm not sure what he was doing there, but he is going to be on his way to the Odyssey, and we have very clean Seaside from Ekwon, actually.
Aggie approaching the Sphinx dip. Let's hope he's able to do it pretty well like Aggie did. I mean, not Aggie, sorry. I mixed up the name. It's my bad. Yukon gonna be heading to luncheon. Aggie about to follow him.
Now, if Wooded is the hardest kingdom in the early game, Luncheon is by far the hardest kingdom in the late game. This is where things go incredibly south very quickly if you start to kind of fall apart at the seams. And it kind of like Seaside, it starts right out of the gate with a very fast jump that requires you to kind of get up to the top of this wall. Ekwon going to be pulling that off just fine.
Going to over the moon here, and then the spirit fight, which is one of the easier fights in the game. Not too many boss fights are like really difficult. I'd say Mech and Madame Brood and Cascade could cause you some problems.
Yeah, and even if you know what you're doing with Madame Brutal, she's not a big deal. All of the boss fights are rather scripted, I would say. There's not really an element of randomness to any of them, except for maybe the Mecha Wiggler. So as long as you know how to execute upon every single boss fight, you're probably not going to have very many difficulties. There are some things that you can do to make each boss fight faster. Of course, you're seeing Ekwon here just stopping Spirit in his tracks before he's able to run around the stage or cause any difficulties with his poison. But we don't give him enough time for that. So easily taken care of. And as he grabs the Story Moon, LilAggy going to be coming in and dealing with Spirit himself.
Yeah, there's not too much RNG in general in this game, just enemy movement and, like you said, Wiggler RNG. Which is definitely one of the reasons why a lot of people like this game, the lack of RNG. Oh, Equan gonna be opting for a little bit faster climb, but a little bit harder. Don't think Aggy's gonna be going for that.
Yep, something that was recently kind of redeveloped. You know, it's funny. In the very, very early days of Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning, that was the initial way that we got up and over the mountain to get to the next moon, was by doing a backflip onto the top of the door. We have since, I suppose, optimized the movement a little bit more and made it so that it is more RTA viable in a way that saves time over the capture the fork method that we're seeing Aggie do here. That being said, the geometry in Luncheon is probably the most frustrating part about this whole kingdom. You have to be very careful if you want to try and roll on the tops of these mountains, because you can get sent in just about any direction. It's hard to tell what's a floor, what's a ceiling, what's a wall. So you have to be very careful about all this.
While like the poly fruits do look pretty cool, it's still like very hard for like speedrunning and rolling on them, because you could easily, like you said, roll in the wrong direction. Equan doing the fourth room, not having any problems at all, flying to the stage. Yeah, excellent force from Equan.
Very satisfying to see done fast, and Ekwan is one of the best, potentially has the BTT for this particular room, so, you know, flexing what he knows here.
Oh, Equan gonna be taking a death, oh no.
How did this even happen? Man, it looked like he was trying to do the Potobu jump and just didn't work out in his favor.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to try it again. This time, no problems at all. Sometimes, yeah, you can just catch the side of that cliff and lose your Potobu as a result, because the Potobu does not like landing on the wall. So. But now setting up for turnip clip. Ekwan the first there. Gets bodied by a pan on his way to capture. But his turnip clip is flawless. And
Yeah, definitely a good turnip clip from Equan. You're not having too much problem with forks.
Yeah, he's through. No problems there. Will obviously be saving a little bit of time if he's able to control his Potobu a little bit better. Almost hitting that side of the wall the same way, but he is going to be through. Part of this like whole geometry weirdness essentially is that particular jump, making sure that it works in your favor.
Gonna be approaching some sketchy movement behind the mountain. Like the dive onto the platform is definitely a little bit scary, and we could be seeing death there. However, there's a backup where you can like use the lava mechanic, like when you fall in lava mechanics, to get back up on the mountain.
Ekwan not even gonna have to worry about that, thankfully. Yeah. He's up to the meat plateau, he is twitching the salted meat, and he is gonna be in the pot, ready to go, and out of Luncheon Kingdom.
Yeah, well, it looks like the race would be set for Equan. Bowser's is definitely one of the harder kingdoms in the run, and the movement is pretty hard in it, so we could be seeing something happen there. And we have seen a lot of death and escape, so anything could happen. But let's hope Equan has a good race. But then again, Aggie could come back, so we'll see.
Oh no, LilAggy taking a dive off of this. You hate to see that. Just like not getting quite enough height to get on top of the mountain here. Really struggling to keep it together as we exit Luncheon Kingdom. Chat is letting us know that Aggie died at one point.
Oh, wait.
Apparently, probably in the Forks room, potentially. Would make sense, as he is quite a good chunk time behind.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, all eyes were on Ekwan as he was doing his turnip clip at that moment, so...
Oh, Equan rolling to the side a little bit there.
Yeah, Aggie finally depositing his moons into the Odyssey at the Luncheon Kingdom here, and just a situation where things just kind of are going wrong in Aggie's favor. You really do see that the game kind of bullies him sometimes. A little bit of frustration shown from Aggie as far as motion controls are concerned, and that's just kind of the risk that you have to take when it comes to running this game in particular, and any other speed game. Is you just kind of have to roll with the punches sometimes, and there are certain situations where things are out of your control, and if you don't react to them, then it can lose you a lot of time.
Yeah, we're in Ruin Kingdom right now. Nothing too special here, just like pretty linear.
Yeah, this is the Ruined Dragon boss fight, of course. The hardest fight in the entire game. This dragon, of course, is the most intimidating thing that you will face on your travels. So, he basically just paralyzes you in fear while you do nothing but lose.
Yeah, Ruin's kind of like the refresher before you go into Bowser's and move to like really hard kingdoms. The movement's pretty advanced in there, I'd say. Especially shards.
Yeah, all jokes aside, Ruined Kingdom is not that difficult. There's not really anything you can do to speed the fight along. You kind of just have to go along for the ride, waiting for the dragon to kind of pound his face into the arena so that you can continue on with the fight. This is usually where we insert some kind of trash talk section, talking about, well, just about anything, really. Just kind of fill the time as commentators. Me and LimCube, we keep saying that we got to fill this time with some sort of nonsense, but I still have yet to plan or prepare any kind of trash talk section. It's nice when you can see things developing in the game. Last time we talked about Seaside Clip and how that was going to change the pace of how these runs go about, but we don't have one of those this time. It's you just hate to see it. This is Ruined. You sit through it, and you kind of just have to live with it.
He's going to be heading to Bowser's Kingdom. Aggie gonna be following him after he just grabbed his moon and globes. He's only gonna be doing Bird Ram, I believe. It's the strat he normally goes for over crates. Do you think he's the only runner in this league that does go for a Bird Ram?
He
How many
is.
do?
Now, it is, in his opinion, the most consistent way of getting that extra moon. Crates is BTT. It is considered to be slightly faster, but only if you do the recommended strategy, that is the fast triple jump around the wall. Now, if you do this particular burn ram strat that Equan is doing, you will be more consistently saving time. But he is about the only one that actually does it, and basically, because of how close they are, it really does come down to core preference, whichever one you've been doing more.
Yeah, you're going to be approaching shards. Definitely one of the harder parts, more like movement, like some hard movement in there. Aggie starting up the Bowser's Kingdom. Not gonna be doing Bird Ram, I don't think.
If he did, it would be a very interesting change of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do just see him diving off to the right instead.
Gonna be approaching second shard, which is known as the Ikon gonna be taking a bonk. Like I was about to say, that's known to be like the hardest shard because you have to do the the dieback stat.
Yeah, Equan missing the dive back, just hitting one of those explodable boxes on his way back. So, oh, and not grabbing the fifth shard in time there. No problems there. Gonna be recovering just fine. Gonna have to refill his damage here after collecting this moon, but he is still a full story moon ahead of Aggie coming into the later part of the Bowser's Kingdom.
Ekon gonna be doing Bowser's Ram. That does look good. Doing the trick with no problems at all. Oh. Ekon making the right choice, going Harriet first. Would definitely lose like several minutes if he went for Chopper first.
Yeah, literally 20 minutes can be lost by going for Topper first. So
Yeah, definitely.
Ekwan making the smart play here. Definitely doesn't want to be losing any points in this league bracket, so making the smart choice.
Even if you do win, doing Chopper first does subtract 40 points.
Yep.
Oh, LilAggy having some problems with Bowser Jam. Oh, bonking twice.
That's really bizarre. That second one definitely looked like he had the height up and the
Yeah.
game just bodied him instead. Unfortunate situation. But he is on his way through to the shop platform and then onto the brutal fights himself. And Ekwan still just has this topper fight to go. 2 more hits for Ekwan. Aggie picking Harriet first as well, so we'll get a accurate comparison of just how far along these guys are after Ekwan grabs the Story Moon here. Pretty clean fight from Aggie on Harriet there, but really all he can really ask for is to play clean and hope for the best. But you are going to see Ekwan save a little bit of time over Aggie here just because he is going to be skipping this moon behind the crates entirely. So now we have a perfectly accurate representation of just how far ahead Ekwan is over LilAggy. He is past the crates moon, and he is making the climb up to the Mecha Brutal fight. And, you know, of the things remaining in this run, this is probably the one that could settle the deal. If Ekwan makes any sort of mistakes in this fight, it will be to his detriment, and LilAggy can still have the possibility to catch up.
Yeah, we have seen some people have like a really bad, like a really huge lead leaving Bowser's and then having a bunch of stuff go wrong in Moon and then losing the lead.
You're not wrong. Moon Kingdom in itself can be a scary place to lose time. Ekwan, this is a very scary jump for Ekwan. Oh my goodness, he's missing the ground pound, the fast topper hit, but landed on the platform just in time to be able to save himself and not fall off. That was scary though. Could have potentially lost about 25 to 30 seconds there, but did stay on and is only going to be losing maybe 2 or 3.
Speaking
But now
of
it's going
falling,
to come to this hit.
yeah, Aggie almost fell on crates, but luckily did not end up doing that.
Gets the third Harriet hit, lining himself up appropriately, and going to be doing 2 quick dives and target acquired.
Yeah, really good mech from Ekwan.
Yeah, 1 fumble on the second hit for Topper, but he is through the stage, going to be just fine here. And now it's LilAggy's turn to keep the pace. If he does this fight and makes any sort of mistakes, he will just be bleeding his time away and losing any potential opportunity to take the victory in this race. But it is still not too late. Like we said, Moon Kingdom does have the potential to kind of ruin things for you. A bit of a sketchy climb from LilAggy, but does make it up just in time for the bubble to get hit still. Second hit looks clean. And it's going to come down to this, where, as far as I know, LilAggy typically doesn't go for Harriet third in these races. Yeah, you see him setting up for the traditional Spewart third hit here. Oh no!
Oh no!
And that being his downfall, runs a little bit too far past the bubble and ground pounds immediately to the arena below. And this is a terrible one to get a miss on. He's going to have to wait for the bird to appear. He's going to have to capture the bird and climb up the leg in time before the bombs start coming towards him. Barely grasping on the edge of that now. And he's going to get that third hit and on his way up to Harriet for the final one. Oh no!
Oh my god. He almost fell again. He got lucky and ended up ledge grabbing. Yeah, Equan gonna be moving up to Moon.
Does get the final hit though, and LilAggy's on his way. Does take a fall in the Mecha Brutal fight though, so bleeding out just a little bit more time and losing his potential points, but we are approaching Moon Kingdom, and like we said, things can go wrong here. If Equan, for some reason, misses Moon Cave Skip and takes a death trying to get up to the bridge, for example, he would be back at the Odyssey and lose a substantial amount of time. Or if he were to die during the Bowser fight during the last phase, he would be losing a substantial amount of time. If he dies in the Pillar Room, obviously that is a giant time penalty. So, you know, you really do have to play well enough to play safe in order to not lose huge amounts of time in the Moon Kingdom, because there are only a couple of checkpoints.
Yeah, considering how Equan goes for really hard strats, I'm wondering if he can go for a side flip moon skip. I highly doubt it, but it's possible. It looks like he's gonna be doing the more safe option, just doing the regular traditional ground pound.
Yeah, you don't really see many runners go for some sort of side flip there, but you do see Equan diving onto the moon platform and not attempting any kind of single jump ideas. They can be known to steal your cap throw and your cap bounce. So playing it safe, just doing what he needs to do to continue on through the Moon Kingdom. And the first part, the hard part here, is over. Now he will at least spawn back at the Bowser fight if anything goes wrong here.
Aggie making his way over to the Moon Kingdom. Let's hope he has no problems, just like Equan did. Chat with some hot takes saying that target acquire is easier than just doing the regular spirit third.
That's debatable, I think. If you have a good setup for your Spirit third hit, then Spirit third is definitely the easier one, just because you don't have to worry about basically what is... If you miss target acquired, for example, you fall off the mech, and that loses you 35 seconds. But if you miss Harriet, then you can kind of just bounce around on the top and, you know, be all willy-nilly. So not a big deal. It just looked like LilAggy's setup there was just not fantastic. He ran a little bit too far, too quickly. Usually what I do for the third Spirit hit is to kind of do a crouch walk off the side, and that usually is safe and good to go. But yeah, if you know what you're doing for target acquired, no reason not to, I suppose, but it is still risky.
I mean, I can't say anything on this matter because I've always done just the regular Spirit third. I have attempted it, but I don't really know the setup, so every time I do it, it just don't work because I never like took the time to learn how to do it. Going starting up the escape. So hope he has no problems with 2D skip or pillars. However, if he does, then Aggie does have a chance to come back up.
Yeah, Aggie is just starting up this fight at the end, so, you know, there is still potential for Aggie to catch up, but even at this point, if Equan were to fall and die at this very moment, Equan would still be in the lead by a considerable amount.
We have seen the end invisible by Curbs earlier in this league. I don't think it'll happen, but it's possible. So Equan having some...
Oh my goodness.
But ending up not messing it up.
Speaking of troubles in the escape sequence, Equan actually has a history of doing some very risky things in the 2D portion. Tried to get the wall jump there just for a little bit of flashy strats, but he is going to be okay, and he is on through the escape sequence here. And it's just Pillar Room separating him from the victory.
Yeah, like we've seen with his race with Nick Gravita, Equan has had some trouble with the 2D section in the escape. He took like 2 or 3 deaths, I believe.
Yep, and in more than one race as well, he has fall into the 2D section in the Moon Kingdom. So luckily not going to be causing him any issues here. Did bonk his head a couple of times, but was able to make the jump just. And now we have not seen Invisible since Little Curbs had taken the fall in that race against Chaos. So hopefully Ekwon will learn the lesson here, just getting bodied by that one final rock. And he is on the final platform, safe and sound, thrashing away at this final rock and looking to finish up the race. Final time 103.20 by Ekwon, taking the victory here. GG's.
Letting the timer run on its own. Oh, there we go. The protein QD skip. Let's hope he doesn't have any problems with his tank and get maximum amount of points.
Yeah, it's basically coming down to Aggie to collect as many points as he can by basically just finishing as fast as he can. Well, the only thing that separates him from the end now is this pillar room. And we'll see how he does. So, throwing his first fireballs here, adjusting the camera in a way that kind of lines himself up with the pillar, but those were quite a few sloppy fireballs. Looks like he's going to be missing quite a few of them. So he's going to have to come all the way around and try and knock that pillar down on the second pass. Yeah, just a couple fireballs to throw at this final pillar. And he is on the final platform as well and swiping away.
Yeah, Aggie finishing what looks like to be a low 105. Definitely not too bad of a time at all. Yep, a 105.04.
105.04 it is, the final time. GG's to LilAggy, GG's to Ekwon. Ekwon coming away with the victory here in what was another very interesting race with some sloppiness from both runners. And, you know, at the end of the day, Ekwon was able to iron out his problems by the end, and LilAggy just not able to pull through and hold on. Ekwon winning by what appears to be 1 minute and 40 seconds. So we're looking at something like, I'm just trying to do the quick math in my head here. It looks like 11 points will be going to Ekwon, meaning LilAggy will take home 9 as a result, and Ekwon will get 51. If my math is correct here. Somewhere in that ballpark. But Ekwon and LilAggy were at this point tied for 8th place in the league. 8th place, of course, is the cusp for getting into the playoff round. The top 8 will make it into the playoffs to qualify for the live event pace coming up in April. So the victory for Ekwon here is definitely going to be substantial, definitely going to be something that Ekwon will have to ride and hopefully carry the momentum into the following races in order for him to qualify for the playoffs. LilAggy, unfortunately, going to have to play some catch up now as a result. But yeah, that's the way she goes. Fantastic race from both of these competitors. We do not have time, unfortunately, for any sort of interviews because we do have to get on to the second round of the doubleheader featuring myself and Chaos Pringle. So stick around. We will be taking a short intermission. Thank you, Flair, for joining me on the microphone today.
Yep. Yeah, good luck with your race.
Thank you very much. We will see you again here in probably about 5 minutes.
Yep.